Okay.
Good evening, everyone, to the F1 2017 AOR Hype Energy F2 League on the PC, Season 15, Round number 3, the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. As you can see, we have already started into qualifying, as we had some technical stuff to sort out in beforehand. So I hope everyone is doing well tonight, and I'm very much excited for tonight's race. My name is Thompson, and with me in the commentary box for tonight is Julio Massa. Good evening.
Good evening, everyone.
That was a short but
Yeah.
but reasonable intro. And
Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah.
as we can see, people already setting their first lap times. We're about 5.5 minutes into the session. And at the moment, Vadkan sits on P1 with a 1 minute 40.0.
Yeah, exactly. Very quick lap time already. As you can see, we have bright skies finally in this league because, as you can remember, we've had quite a lot of rain rounds. And yeah, I mean, most of the guys have set their laps already, and really small. As you can see, top 13 even is in, and the guys in P14, 15 and 16 are also not that way behind. So it seems like it's really close today.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's going to be very exciting race and qualifying for tonight. We can see that Sonny, Coldo, and Assassin have not gone out yet, and seems like they will only be doing one run. And as I say that,
Assassin is...
yeah, Assassin's leaving the pits.
I'm just hoping that a dry race, because as much as we love wet races, I think our drivers also want to have at least some dry running season. Had some dry running already in the qualifying session. This is a very tricky track, of course, but you'll just tell it probably in the in the track later on, so we'll have a time to say something more about this track. But
And with that cue, I'll just switch on a small little graphic here. So today we're going to race on the Baku city circuit with its 20 turns and 6 kilometers of length. It's the second longest track on the calendar, just behind Spa, and it's definitely a very tricky track to drive around. Due to the high speeds and the walls being very close, so it's going to be interesting to see who can survive our 50% race distance, which should be, I think, 26 laps.
Yes, it is 26 laps. Are now exiting the pit lane for their final qualifying lap. So, as you said, a very, very long lap. Very tricky also to get the tires working here. Although, seeing that sun, it should be a little bit... So, to nail the lap here is to nail all the braking zones, because you have so many of them. Braking into turn 1, then turn 2, turn 3, turn 4, turn 5, turn 7, turn 8, I think also, turn 15 and turn 16. All of those corners are extremely easy to get them right. Extremely easy to get the braking zone right. If you make a little mistake, you have run of area, thankfully, but time, because you essentially have to put on the reverse gear to return to the track. So it's probably one of the trickiest qualifying sessions, maybe apart from Monaco Grand Prix. So let's just wait 2 minutes and we'll see who will be on pole here.
Yes, at the moment we're following Assassin on his first flying lap as he comes through turn 16, which is essentially the last true turn, and the rest of this is all flat out as he now comes onto the very, very long straight, and will set his first flying lap time now. And let's see what it is. It's a 1:42.8. That slots him last of everyone who has set a time so far.
A long way of the pace, to be fair here. 1:42.8.
Yeah, that's...
I mean, 200.8 seconds of the pace, yeah.
Yeah, that's really not one of the fastest times. And I'm just gonna write something in the chat, so sorry for that menu, but unfortunately, yeah, F1 just pops out the menu when you go into another window.
Almost everyone now is on their out laps. I see some guys in the pit lane, and Vatican had a 140.088 lap time before, but now nobody has set a 140.084 lap time, so 4/10.
For 1,000.
Not 4/10.
For
1,000th of a second.
Which is basically nothing.
Well, on this track, actually, with those finishing speed, or 1,000th of a second might be somewhere around a meter or 2 meters between the cars. So
yeah, but that's not much considering we are doing 6 kilometers of track around here.
Well, yeah, but
I'm just following Vatican at the moment on his final flying lap, see if he can improve on his time and clinch back that pole position from nobody. And
it has improved.
Very tight here through that stadium section, just inches off the wall, and time has run out, so everybody will finish their flying laps now if they want to.
Oh, slick in the wall in turn 8.
Yeah, that's definitely not where you want to be. That looks like a mistake under braking, and he just went straight. And Smash sets the fastest time. Mighty Nora, that's a 1:39.9. Still have to remember he came up from F5 last season, and now he sets that banger of a lap. Let's see what Vatican can do about that.
This track suits him a lot.
And Vatican goes faster with a 1:39.7. Where's nobody? He's coming through turn 19, that is now. And Gerk's faster with 39.771. That's only 2/100ths of a second faster than Vatican. What can nobody do? Will he slot in between, or will he grab pole from Gerk's? And it is pole position, 1:39.7. So who's still on a lap? Streets can technically still go faster. And Smash now down into 4th. Where's Streets? He's in turn 18, that is, 19 now. And can he improve enough? He's half a second off, so I'm not sure whether he can contend for pole position today. He'd definitely be the last person to set a lap now.
P18, that was the fastest, the last man to finish the qualifying lap. Somehow improved, but he lost like 2 seconds to the pole position. But look at the field on top.
Yes, that's definitely very close. First 3 within 1/10.
Yeah, first 3 within 1/10, and very, very close. Look, within a second we have what? We have 13 drivers within a second, and also Johnny John in very close proximity. Our apex, very, very close. Probably it's very close, even up to Coldo or Marian. So yeah, just 2 guys. Seconds. It's probably a very, very equal grid. For the race, Finally.
Yes, we're just going to wait for everybody to make their final adjustments for the race strategy, etc. And then we are going live with the race. You can see the first few drivers are readying up. And then we will see this exciting, I hope, very exciting race. And let's see how many people will survive this circuit compared to the real life race.
As exciting as it was today, but hopefully with less retirements and safety car. Oh, we don't have safety car, but never mind that. Five lights,
and away we go with the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, and we can see Gurk's having a pretty decent start, going the inside of nobody, but he has a better run out of turn 1. People going side by side, not too many contacts so far. And
but Smash lost a lot of places. He was in P5, but he's now in P7, P18 now. I think he had a lot of made contacts with somebody in turn 2. I'm sorry for interrupting you, of course, but that's probably...
For me, Smash was in P5.
Because I have him round in P19. Because I have him in P19.
For me, he's in P5 at the moment, so right where he started. I couldn't witness any crashes so far.
Weird, because I've seen him spinning. Oh, so that's very weird.
And with people going side by side, coming into the castle section, that's really not what you want to do, and they slot just into single file before to avoid making contact with the wall there. We can see Renault that got a bit sideways there, coming up the hill there. And
overtaking Johnny John, and now El Sony is also just behind the Sauber. Will he go down the inside in the turn for 15? They go, and Johnny John loses a bit of front wing because he hit the wall out of turn 15. Will he now have to pit because very substantial damage to his front wing?
Yeah, it looks like half his front wing has disintegrated on that wall, and you can see how much time he's losing through those fast corners, and Kohler behind him, I think, kissed the wall because he nearly ran him over. So Johnny John definitely will need to have to come into the pits for a new front wing. And as he does now, as does Ake, who also is missing part of his front wing.
And I've seen Ake getting a 5-second stop-and-go penalty for speeding in the pit lane as well. Do you still have Smash in P5?
Yes, he's still in P5 on my screen. Mr. Ghost just asked who has which tyres. We can see most of the drivers are on super softs, except for Smeech, Colon, Assassin on the softs, and Ake and Johnny John, who were in pits now, have gone onto the medium tyre.
Presumably they're going to the end of the race on those tires, but much time on these tires. Nobody leads the race. Gerks in P2, but actually Gerks is quite a surprise because he didn't show himself very well in the first races, and now he's up to P2.
Yeah, the top group, by the way, only separated by about 2 seconds, so half a second each. And next lap around DRS should be activated, and then we might see a few tries of overtaking. That is even English, I'm not sure at the moment, but we'll glance over that and focus on the racing. We can see there's not too much battling going on at the moment, but I bet some people are just waiting for their opportunity, and Vadkan might be one of them in the slipstream of Gerks now. Having a look up the inside, braking late, and that is move done unless Gerks gets a bit better run out of turn 1. He's on the inside on turn 2. They nearly touch, and Vadkan with a good run off of turn 2, but as I mentioned, Gerks now with freshly activated DRS and tries to have him move up Vadkan. That brings Streets in behind in play, and I think he nearly ran into his teammate there. But Gerks now has to slot in behind Vadkan for now.
When he tried to retake that P2, he tried a Max Verstappen move from today's race, but thankfully no harm done to here. Also, it seems like it's getting calmer. I mean, sort of calm now, but when the DRS will be finally available on this really long 2 kilometers straight, then we will see some really interesting stuff happening, because basically we have a train of cars P2 to and P10 or P15 if you want. So
yeah, and all this battling at the front has benefacted who? It's nobody at the front, because he gained 1.5 seconds on this lap alone and has broken out of the DRS window.
John is out of the race.
What happened there? That is the question. Can we have a look?
Yeah. I see him out, well, wide in the escape road of turn 3, maybe.
Yeah, I think it's turn 3. Yes, it is. And that is him out of the race, unfortunately.
And have smashed somewhere in P1. Oh my goodness me. I'm sorry, because I see I have some issues with the game right now. And right now my live timing shows Smash in the lead, although he's in turn 16 on my screen. So
yeah, he's in P5. So for some reason I had that once, that is the Smash is desynchronized for you. So I'll keep you guys updated on Smash's position. He's in 5th at the moment, and due to that Joni John incident, we missed the overtake from... No, Vatkin was in front of Gerks already. So
yeah, he was.
No changes on the first DRS activation on that long straight for this time round. But there will be enough chance that we can see Streets only 3/10 behind, Smash only 5/10 behind, Eilemus 8/10, Matthias 9/10, Anker 4/10. So they all will have DRS on that next time around, and we'll try to profit from that.
Look at that. Also, those two Hasses are very high in up in the order. I mean, P3 and P4 for now, of course, for two Haas cars is a very good race. Also, McLaren's, as you say, that Smash is in P5, so I believe you because I can't see him.
Yeah,
but it's just the way the game works for me. Also, Vatkan in P2. So yeah. These two teams look like they have probably the best drivers. I mean, the most consistent drivers or most equal drivers here.
And Gerks having a move up.
Going up to P3.
Yeah, that's what I just want to say. Streets went up the inside of Gerks there, coming down the straight. It looks like his teammate was holding him up a little bit. And I guess Gerks didn't fight back too much to allow his teammate to try and catch the front there.
Coldo, I think he is out of the race. I mean, if I can re-invite him, but again, I can't do that.
No, unfortunately, if you lose an invite, that's unfortunately it. And is kind of like a technical DNF compared to real world racing. That is very unfortunate for Coldo. It's not the first time that that has happened to him, and I just got a question from Coldo.
Yeah.
And yeah, just have to answer that. It's unfortunately not possible. Alright, so focusing back onto the race, who could shape a move up? The guy in front on this straight, Smash is reasonably close, as is Mr. Anker, so we'll just stick to this group here from P5 to P8 and see if anyone can move up a position. And nothing doing so far. And ooh, that's a Ferrari that tapped the wall.
That's Matthias. That's Matthias who was wide in turn 1.
Yeah.
Very hairy moment. Marian got a 5-second stop and go penalty for speeding in the pit lane. What happened there to the Red Bull?
Oh, he went with us. Yeah, it's easy to do here in Azerbaijan because you slow down for the pit, then you have a small chicane, and then you re-accelerate for a few seconds, and then you have to brake again.
Because in F1 2016 there was a speed limit of 80 kilometers per hour, and for this year's game they've changed it to 60 kilometers per hour. So, of course, they are very great drivers, but maybe sometimes you make that mistake. You don't really think, oh, and he's wide in turn 2.
Who?
Point. Marian as well. Marian. I'm talking about Marian, who got this penalty, and now he was wide in turn 2. He braking into this probably one of the trickiest pit lanes in the calendar.
And someone who's very close to the guy in front now is Nameless, as Gerks has a moment coming into turn 16, running a bit wide there. Nameless slots behind Gerks for now to gain that slipstream advantage. So coming down the straight now, you can see Nameless already gaining even without DRS, which is active now, and it should be easy piece of cake for him now to gain that speed, although it looks like Gerks has not too bad straight line speed, but Nameless stays ahead for now, runs a little bit wide there, and Gerks now trying to regain that position coming into turn 2. He locks up, doesn't smash into Nameless though, and now Smash is coming to in the equation and trying to profit from the situation.
Yeah, and also Gerks has the DRS, so probably he will go down the inside of turn 3, but he loses the... Look, he's Nameless is wide, and the turn 4.
And as I said, Smash did what I predicted he would do. Incredible move of taking 2 cars, coming into one corner by going through the middle. That's really tight spot there, and he just took that like candy from a baby.
What's the worst here? I couldn't see that move because still in my game Smash is some way off the field. So
I don't want to say too much on lap 7, but you might have missed the move of the race.
That is true, yeah.
So after 7 laps now, just a small rundown. Nobody still leading the race in that Force India. Vatkin slowly closing the gap. It's now down to 1.8 seconds. Streets is in 3rd. Smash with that great overtake in 4th. Nameless in the Ferrari in P5 at the moment, followed by Gerks, followed by Anker, followed by Matthias in the 2nd Ferrari. Slick in 9th, and Siniak, that is. Round up your top 10. And who was that? Marian?
Lost connection now. So we'll have a fight between AI cars of Marian and Coldo.
And we have first people in the pits, that's Smash and Gerks, who have come into the pits on lap 8 for a fresh set of tyres, as well as AOR Apex and Skatey. Now the question, what tyres are they going to fit? It's going to be soft tyres for Gerks, and just a new nose as it seems. And just having a look what Smash going for, he also went for a soft tyres there. So
Cool of the year, because Smash went into the pit lane. I finally got him back into normal position. For me, he's now in P11, but finally I will be able to commentate normal things going on.
That's absolutely great to hear. So now we're waiting for the rest of the field to come into the pit lane. Looks like the stops information board is working for today's race. That is absolutely fantastic.
Well, the information board for you doesn't work, and I had a car basically out of sync.
No, so it's working. That's all. It's all right.
Great. Yeah.
So just having a look at this small group, Matthias, Anker, and Slick, who were in battle with a few other guys who have already pitted. So the question: will they come into the pits this race? This lap? Sorry.
Did you did Smash lose positions on your screen again?
Nope, he's 11th.
Okay, so another had a great. This is just ridiculous. I had an almighty collision between him and Gerks in the castle section, and for me, he's now in P14 because he's now lost places to AOR Apex. This is really is getting ridiculous.
Slick and Signac into the pits now, and it's going to be softs for Slick and super softs for Signac. Oh no, Signac hasn't actually reached his pit box yet, so it's going to be softs for him as well.
And nobody looks like he's going for a long stint on those super soft tires.
Yeah, there's still quite a few people at the top of the ball that are stretching out their tires, just to have that advantage of fresh rubber at the end of the race. I'd hazard to guess. And we have yellow flags on sector 1, and I can see Assassin is dropping positions, and he has hit the wall in turn 3, that is, and lost a big part of his front wing, and will now have a long way to limp home to get a new front wing for that Williams car.
This is getting even more ridiculous now, because I've seen, as you've said, Assassin was in the wall, but for some, there was a big coincidence that on my screen, of course, Smash was there, and there was another almighty collision between the McLaren and now the Williams. I mean, funny what I'm seeing today for all those issues. I'm not at home, so whatever I'm seeing is just the result of not being home and using some.
And our leaders are coming into the pits. Nobody, Vatkin, Streets, iNameless, and Mr. Anchor all into the pits for a new set of rubber. And unsurprisingly, nobody on softs. Streets also going for the softs. Vatkin on the softs just comes out, I think, before iNameless. Look how close they are together. And
did you have, because on my screen, Streets also was changing front wing, because he had some sort of wing damage, and he is on medium tires on my screen. And I'm now
look. Yes, indeed, he is.
That's really interesting strategic call.
So maybe he had issues with tire wear in practice and is trying to play it safe. Although from now on 16 or 17 laps should be doable on softs, although with somewhat harsh tire wear, to be fair.
Yeah, this track isn't known for being particularly hard on tires. I mean, the asphalt here isn't that grippy. It's normally a street circuit, so the street circuits have that tendency to not wear the tires too much, so this could be doable, like, very easily, but go on mediums, that's his choice. Also, I think Gerks is on softs, so the fight for P8 continues. For fight for P8, at least. Matthias is in the lead for now.
Yeah, he should be coming into pits fairly soon, and as I say that, he does. And to get rid of those pretty worn super soft tyres, the only one that hasn't come in yet is Smeej, although he started on the soft, so he'll continue for a few more laps until he will do his pit stop of the race.
Saying strategy, but we'll see where he finishes. The gap between him... Oh, and I'm getting really lost because...
And Matthias joins right into that. Oh, and there's a collision between Matthias and Slick as he tried to stay in front of that battle pack. And looks like Matthias doesn't have damage. I'm not too sure about Slick. No, he does definitely have wing damage. And that will have destroyed his race, definitely. And he will be absolutely furious about that move.
Maybe it's not a very crazy Grand Prix so far, but very interesting and some moments are very crazy. That's what happened here. Turn 2. Thankfully, the runoff area is quite big, so they could have gone straight, but Slick will lose a lot of time now in the pit lane.
And Vatkin has now caught up to his teammate Smash, who is currently in third. And the only explanation I could have for Vatkin losing that time is a 5-second penalty or a wing change. And I don't think I've seen a penalty for him, so it must have been a wing change. because he was running in second and only emerged just in front of Vainimus in fifth, so he lost a few seconds there.
Oh, that's great. He's just behind Smash or somewhere else? Like, how far behind Smash is he now?
Half a second.
Great. I just can tell you that I see quite a lot of free track ahead of Vatkan because I can't see Smash there.
Yeah, and we can see Vatkan sets the fastest lap of the race due to that DRS and slipstream from Smash, but he wasn't close enough to try and do an overtake, and I'd say since it's his teammates, he'll try and be sensible since this is not Red Bull.
This is not Max Verstappen.
Yeah, and you can see Smash is letting Vatkan pass on this straight here. So Smash...
very sensible move.
Yeah, being the team player here, and now right behind Vatkan and trying to tell him, well, you're in front now, so hurry up.
Oh, this is something that shows who is a great racer and also potential, maybe even champion. Because when you think about the consequences and you're not the fastest right now, you can just let your teammate through and not cause a big collision. Something that some other drivers in real F1 lack sometimes. Oh, I think, because I see nobody being very close now behind Smij. The gap is now less than 1 second, so a new set of soft tires is very close behind the Mercedes on used and quite old set of soft tires, and Assassin is out of the race. Oh, another front wing damage.
And I can't really see what turn that is. That could be turn 4 though. So maybe he had a crash coming out of turn 3 and he's out of the race.
Exactly, that's what I've seen as well. Now Smij loses a lot of time, and now nobody has DRS behind the Mercedes car. Take him now into turn 3, or will he just wait? He waits, although I see big lockup coming from the Mercedes. But they are very sensible. They don't cause any collisions. Nobody knows that he will, sooner or later, he will overtake that Mercedes car.
Yes, probably guess at the next opportunity coming down the straight unless he makes a mistake. And obviously has that more than 5-second gap to his rival Vatkan in second. So he'll not be in too much of a hurry to overtake Smij, but I hazard to guess that he wants to do it in the next 2 laps or so. So he can keep that margin towards Vatkan.
Maybe he'll try to do it down into turn 15. No, he just shows him in the mirrors that Alonso flicker, whatever you call it.
Just a small reminder that he's there. And you can see now he's only 3.5 tenths behind Smij coming through turn 18 here. They're now going absolutely flat out. Nobody will have DRS coming down here, although now it's showing on my screen. And he should be close enough, though it seems as he's not getting too much slipstream, and Smij can stay ahead.
That Mercedes is really quick in straight line. El Sony is out of the race now, and it's a big crash in... Look, he just went straight into the wall.
Yeah, it's the castle section, I think. And
yeah, it's...
looks as though he's spun to the right or so.
What we've lost when we've seen El Sony in the wall? Nobody is now in front of Smij, so he's back in the lead.
But let's see, it cost him a good portion of a second though to get past Smij. But on the other hand, Vatkan will have to get past Smij as well, unless Vatkan is lucky and Smij pits before that happens.
Well, if he doesn't pit, he will have a very tough thing to do, because that Mercedes is really quick in straight line, probably going with very skinny wings. You can't see that in the game, of course, but you have to these wings are really, really skinny, and the straight is really high. Of course, he loses a lot of time in the corners. Look, now Vatkan is just 1.8 seconds behind that Mercedes, so he's closing up very significantly.
And we can see that Gerks is very close behind his, excuse me, Haas teammate Streets, who previously had overtaken him. And yeah, let's see if he re-overtakes him, since Streets doesn't seem to have the pace to pull away. And maybe they'll trade back or not. That is to be seen, although Gerks is a bit far away, to be fair, on this occasion.
Just a Haas battle part 2 after the pit stops happened. I think Vatkan is really closing now, although look, he doesn't lose a lot of time on the straights. He just will significantly, especially through the sector 2. This especially very tight and twisty sector has, of course, this castle section in it. Look, now only 1 second between them, so Vatkan is closing really, really quickly.
Yeah, although they're coming into the castle section now, which is not an overtaking opportunity, and it's difficult to follow the car in front. But Vatkan will have to try to get closer to Smeej to have a chance on the front straight.
He took 8/10 from Mercedes in that sector too, and now this is just turn 16 to go, and they will the flat-out section ahead of them, 2/10 between them. McLaren will surely have the DRS, but now will the Mercedes defend? They are so close. I don't think so. I see now Vatkan in P3. Well, in P. Vatkan goes now into P2,
and Smeej
goes into the pit lane. So 16 laps is probably the limit for soft tires, for them to be somewhat quick. He goes on super softs, and how far will he be? A comes into the pit lane as well on those medium tires that he lap 1 of the race. I see some wing damage on the Renault though.
Yeah, looks like he has damage on the right side of his wing, and this pit stop will cost him a lot of time.
Yes, I see the mechanics with the new, and also now they have a 5-second time penalty. Yes, they are changing the front wing in the Renault. The Toro Rosso of AOR Apex will overtake him very easily now. Slick also comes up into P13. Slick, who had collision with it was Matthias, wasn't it, after the pit stops. He's now up in P13. He will now race Apex as... Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just tired after today's F1 race, so you have to
Julio, I think I'm... Oh, sorry. That's more important. Gerks going up the inside of Streets here, and it looks like Streets didn't defend too much there and let his teammate pass, although he might try and re-overtake, considering how close he is now on this back straight. So let's see what the team decision is there. And Signac is right behind them and might try and profit from that situation.
Mr. Anka just ahead of them in P5, that is.
And indeed, Streets goes past Gerks and pushes him a bit wide, and that allows Signac to go past Gerks there into P7. That was not the best of team tactics there, and now Signac is all over Streets and might have a look up the inside coming into turn 3. And just as I said that, he's really late on the brake, using that grip that he has on those soft tyres. So now turning to the outside, there was slight contact, and it looks like Signac might have gotten away without damage here.
Fair enough, fair enough. What can you say about Smash now? Because I've lost him again.
At the moment, he's running in P3 behind his teammate Vadkan.
Behind?
Yeah, behind Vadkan in third.
How far behind? Street is out of the race.
And another crash into the castle section. That is a very tricky spot, and has caught out the second driver today.
Yeah, just back to Smash. How far behind Vatkan is he on your screen?
1.4 seconds.
4 seconds for some time, because now I have him around in turn 16, so that looks very great. Yeah, also it's very interesting to see, because we have what, 4 drivers out of the race already. This is probably more drivers out of the race than we've had 2 races, don't you think?
Well, that's what happens when you put high speeds and a street course together. It's very tricky to survive this race, just due to the nature of the circuit, and is a bit of a survival race here. As we can see, just following Slick, and I think he has lost a bit of his front wing because he had a small touch with the wall there in turn 15.
He's definitely out of the race, although we can also say that those AI cars of Koldo and Marian are out of the equation as well. So now we have 6 drivers out of the race already. That's quite a lot. 8 with the fastest lap.
And Smij and Skatey are side by side here, coming out of turn 4. And Smij stays ahead for the moment. Skatey in 10th, so that's the battle for P9 for 2 points in the championship.
Smij also, on those new tires, you could think that he would pull away from the Sauber, but look like he's doing so. But maybe he will now stretch his legs and pull away, because for me, for now, in this section, uphill section, and this section just behind Castle, he's really pulling away now. 8/10 between them, but of course, the DRS window behind the Mercedes, so he will still be more or less behind the Mercedes. But saying that, he's now out of the DRS zone. Yes, he is out of the DRS zone, so now we'll see, because Smij is just 5 seconds behind Matthias. Can he close down that gap? Can he what that would be, P8?
And Smash has silently closed the gap to his teammate back down to a second. So the question is, has Vadkan once again destroyed his tires? Destroy his tires, trying to catch up to nobody.
It's beautiful that you can say everything about Smash, and I can only say that there is Vadkan and the other McLaren is somewhere, I don't know where. It's by far the weirdest race I have to commentate in my career. Mr. Anka in P5.
That's Gerks and Signac side by side coming through those fast left-hand corners. That's not usually a section where you want to try and make a move, but Signac can stay in front at the moment. And that is the battle for P6 as they now come down into turn 16. Gerks very close behind Signac here as they come through the fast SS section, which is of course flat out all the way through. Gerks all over that gearbox of the Toro Rosso of Signac, and he'll try and make a move now. Coming down is extremely long and never-ending straight. And he is up the inside now. It's going to be a bit of a drag race, and who can break the latest? We can see Gerks has a bit of a lock up there. That allows Signac to have a look back up the inside, although he backs out of it a little bit there. But now profits from the DRS and will close up to Gerks again. But will it be close enough to and brave enough to make a move? You can see Gerks covers off the inside there. Squeezes Signac right against the wall there, and no contact with each other or the walls there, and Gerks remains ahead of Signac for P6.
The Toro Rosso of Signac looked very, very quick on the straight, but in the end it had to put the white flag out because the Haas had this DRS help and he could go beautiful fight through. I've seen a 5-second time penalty for AOR Apex, who's now in the pit lane, so he got a 5-second time penalty for speeding in that pit lane. The Toro Rosso is now in P12, I think. It's a very quiet race for him. Slick now with the fastest lap of the race, 142.1, but looks like the Mercedes is also a long way behind points, so probably he won't bring any today.
And having looked back at that battle for P6, Signac is still behind Gerks, who hasn't managed to break out of that 1 second DRS window at the moment. And
They're not.
We will see Signac gaining here, although he's a bit far off, so no chance at this opportunity.
Well, like Red Bulls didn't today, but hopefully they won't end up crashing into each other. They looks like Signac is still just behind, but I don't know. Maybe he just can't close enough. However that I've said. I have a yellow in sector 1.
And that is Matthias, who has gone up in an exit road into turn 3 here, but it seems he got away without damage and has only lost a few positions there. I think 1, to be fair.
And he didn't lose too much positions, but yeah, not that much. Still behind Gerks. 7/10 to be exact. Goes on, Slick with another fastest lap of the race. Yeah, that Toro Rosso is again very close. I think I've seen Gerks a little bit wide in turn 16, although not that much. Through 18 and 19, this very quick chicane. We can call it chicane, to be fair. It's left, right corners, so if you're desperate enough, you can call it the chicane. But look, even though that Toro Rosso has the DRS, it's...
Yeah, he only gained 1/10 on Gerks down that straight, and lost it all coming into those braking zones we're looking at now.
It looks like the DRS doesn't give that much in this race, in today's race.
And we can now see Smash has finally caught up to his teammate Vadkan, who already lost another 3 seconds towards nobody and is now 7 seconds behind. So he is definitely struggling for pace at the moment, and it seems like once again his tyres might go off earlier than he had hoped for, which we have seen is a recurring theme for Vadkan at the moment. If he wants to be a true title contender, he'll definitely have to work on his tyre management.
Exactly. That's probably just very important to have in these races. When you don't have very good tyre management, you will lose a lot of positions.
Now the question is, as Smash has caught up to Vadkan quite significantly, will Vadkan try to defend that position for second, or will he let Smash go, who is faster at the moment?
Well, idiots everywhere. As Smash led Vadkan through earlier in the race, I think that'll be the only reasonable thing to probably let through if he's quicker than you. But I can see that fight, as I've said probably a million times today.
And big oversteer there for Smash, accelerating out of turn 3, which has cost him time towards Vadkan, and probably stole that possible opportunity for him to try and make a move there coming into turn 3, although he's still only 3/10 behind Vatkin.
They have 4 laps to go, so maybe Smash will take that what it will be, P2, from his teammate, but nevertheless, the race for McLaren, I don't know how the Constructors' Championship looks this season, but McLaren looks like it's really a title contender for this year.
And we have yellow flags somewhere, although I can't see. Oh no, Slick! Slick is out of the race. Where is that? That is, I think, just behind turn 16 there. And that's yet another driver out of the race. So that is 5 DNFs and 2 disconnections so far.
It's just a survival, the Baku race. But as you've said, it's always like here.
And now, now Smash is really close to Vatkin, and they're side by side coming down the straight. Will Vatkin fall back and let Smash have that position? It looks like he does. We still have a slow Slick on that straight for some reason, because the AI is not finding position to pull out of the race, and I think Smash might just have had the possibility to overtake Vatkin before that yellow flag sector, and is now in second, 8 seconds behind nobody.
This AI on my screen, because I was looking at this AI on my screen, it won pit lane, but then it got restarted into the track. So really weird things happening from the AI side. Still, do you have Vatkin in P2? I think you have, so...
No, Vatkin is third now. Smash went past.
Oh, great. Oh my, I mean, I'm losing probably the most important things in the race today, so... So, we have 12 race.
Yeah, 12 runners remaining at the moment. And just a little rundown for you guys. Nobody is leading the race very comfortably at the moment. Smash in second, Vatkin second, McLaren in P3. A Nameless slowly has creeped up on those two guys, only 1.2 seconds behind Vatkin there in fourth. Mr. Anchor in 5th, Gurks in P6, Siniak in 7th, Smeej in P8, Matthias 9th, and Skatey rounds up the top 10.
Oh, and Ake and AOR Apex are, well, too long behind to have some hope for points. So probably the top 10 sorted. Just don't
jinx it. This is the Baku City circuit. We have seen enough crashes so far. So Ake and Apex will hope for incidents in front of them to gain some points.
Baku. Just say that. But
yeah, and now Nameless has caught up to Vatkin and Smash, and will try to break up that McLaren double podium at the moment. And we only have 1.5 laps to go, so he has to hurry up if he wants to do so.
I think that, as you've said earlier, the tires of Vatkin might have dropped off, so this is one of the reasons of his struggles right now. The Ferrari, I think it will be the first podium for Ferrari this season. It might be, yeah.
Again, we can see Vatkin nearly hitting the wall with the rear right there, coming out of turn 15. So looks like, again, his usual problem. He has burned up those rear tires.
I was trying to say that Nameless so far drove a very quiet, but also very reasonable and very smart race. That's why he's in P4 now, attacking this P3. Final lap has started, so not much left for the Ferrari to try and attack this McLaren. Will he try to do it down into turn 3, because that will be his penultimate opportunity, then he will have to either hope for some big mistake from McLaren, or maybe that long straight out of turn 16 to do the same as Bottas did on Lance Stroll last year in Baku. Look, they are so close, but on the other also, Nameless doesn't want to can't have overtaken. They're so close behind. They're so close between each other. Turn 7 now. Still so close, but no space for for the Ferrari to go through. Castle section. Look, the McLaren car is struggling all over the place. Up the hill we go into turn 13 and 14. The two left kings. And will the Ferrari try to go down the inside into turn 15? Well, he doesn't go there, but they are so close still. Turn 16 now coming, the final corner on the track. I know you will interrupt me soon because nobody will win this race, but
and yes, that's what I was about to say. As nobody now coming down this long straight for the last time, weaving a celebration of that victory. He'll take the win at the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Smash in second, and Nameless and Vadkin are side by side at the moment. It looks like the Ferrari has the upper hand and will slot into P3 just at the death of that last lap. And you can see Vadkin now right out of fuel, so he was absolutely on the limit there. Mr. Anker finished in 5th. Gerks in P6 with an interesting crash that happened after the finish there. Signac in 7th. Smeej will slot into P8 there. And Matthias in the second Ferrari coming out in 9th place, as it seems. Also adding to that crash. Thank you, F1 2017. And that is Skatey celebrating that 1 point, also smashing into the wall in celebration.
That is proper well done, Baku, for this race. From them. Yeah, I mean, Nameless did exactly what I was talking about doing, Bottas and Stroll in the final lap. How? I have now smashed back into P2 on the live timing. So, finally.
So, who are we waiting for? That is AOR Apex, who needs to finish, and obviously the Ayakov Marion, who will not be classified, but will be classified as disconnected. And that is Apex over the line in P12.
Oh, yeah.
So just waiting for the game to load, and then we'll have a look at the final standings. Yes, great victory again from nobody there. And he will be very happy about that, and will extend his championship lead after this third race. So nobody first, Smash second, Nameless with that bronze medal or the smallest trophy on the steps up there. Vadkin in 4th, Anker 5th, Gerks P6, Signac 7th, Smeej P8, Matthias 9th, and Skatey in this Albert round up the top 10 for this race.
Interesting, but this is the first race that the guys in the top 10 don't have any penalties for corner cutting, but also where could you possibly corner cut in Baku?
Yeah, there are not really too many spots where there's space on the inside or on the outside to actually get that off-track penalty. So
interestingly, Sergio Perez is in P13 and Max Verstappen in P14.
Well, yeah, that happens when people disconnect before the end of the race.
It's very funny. And also Valtteri Bottas out of the race. Well, this is very interesting, but we have Bottas, Grosjean, and Ricciardo in P15, 16, and 17. And it's a coincidence because I think in the race they could finish in that order, considering their...
And at the moment, I am waiting for maybe someone to come up into the commentary box, but seems like nobody is I'd rather say no one, just to remove confusion. No one is
No
ready
one.
yet. So yeah, that was a very, very crazy race as expected. I think out of those 90 people that started, only 12 managed actually to get to the finish. And of course, that incredible last minute or last second overtake from I Nameless there, like Bottas did to Stroll there for second place. And yeah, that was very entertaining, and there's still nobody coming up here for interviews. Smash seems very happy in the YouTube chat, so if he wants to come up, he is happily invited to do so. And again, our race winner nobody, not really to be seen anywhere in Discord.
Well, interestingly, maybe you can invite someone from the chat, because I see some guys on the chat, PC F2 League, so maybe just invite some of the guys. Ready for interview.
That's fantastic. Good evening.
Hi.
First of all, congratulations to that great finishing position. You must be absolutely delighted with that result. It was your first podium this season, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. I'm speechless. I can't find words. I mean, considering I was in F5 last season, I think that's a really good result. P2 in F2. But I don't want to stop here. I want to go up and fight for more podiums and maybe win sometimes.
Yeah, at one point in qualifying, you were actually sitting in pole. How excited were you about that?
Not really, because it wasn't the greatest lap of all time. Because my personal best was 37.2, 37.7, and I was usually doing 37.8. And I think that little mistake which I did in castle section that costed me like 1/10. That costed me that P4, and maybe I could fight nobody, but I don't know.
I believe you meant 39s.
Yeah, 39. How I said 37?
No, it was 39s.
Oh yeah.
Oh, never mind. 2 seconds either way. Never mind. P5 is P5 on the grid in the end, although it could have been better. Also, you drove very reasonable race today. I mean, you let Vatkan through and he was quicker than you on those new tires. I don't know. He didn't let you back there then later when he had those used tires, didn't he?
I let him through because I knew that I Nameless is gonna take any opportunity if we'll fight and one of us will make mistake. Because at lap 4, I think it was, I made a little bit of mistake, ran a bit of wide from turn 16, and I'm Nameless just overtook me on the straight. So once I saw that Watcom put a 42.8, that's the fastest lap of the race, I just let him through because I didn't want to fight with him, so we don't lose time. And I thought that he might gonna close up to AC or nobody, but then I don't know what happened to him. Maybe he got some damage, but I was starting to close up on him, and I think on the straight, it was lap 24, he let me through because I Nameless was closing, and in the end I just tried to give him the RS so he could keep that P3 because I Nameless was really close, but it just didn't work out.
Yeah, very unfortunate. And have just seen that nobody is in Discord now, so I'll just cheekily try and move him up if I can.
Because
Good evening. Hello, nobody? Can you hear us?
can you hear us? He can't hear us, apparently.
Well, maybe he'll say something in a few minutes, and I'll just steal someone else. Doesn't matter if they're in a conversation or not. And he is the man with the move of the race. I'm Nameless. Good evening.
Hello.
Well, actually, the move of the race maybe was made by Smash, but that was the most crucial overtake of the race for sure.
It was so close. I was so sweating.
Like Bottas and Stroll last year.
Yes. I had to think about it.
So I bet that heart rate was going up in those final few laps as you saw you were catching up to the McLaren boys.
Yes. I knew that Smash or Vetgen would have tire problems because in the first stint it was the same thing. So I waited and tried to attack him in the end. And for one of this McLaren, it worked. So yeah, I'm really happy about it.
Yes, again, incredible move. Talking about incredible moves, Smash, what an overtake there, going through the middle, coming into turn 3, which was a really tight corner, and actually getting out of there without any damage. What were your thoughts with that move? Were you just going for it, or was that even intentional?
I tried to go for it because I knew that the move will be crucial for the race. I didn't really think it will work out, but it somehow did, and I was really surprised because it's not an overtaking opportunity when you're in the middle of two cars and in that tight corner.
Also, back to I'm Nameless. This is the first podium for Ferrari this season. I can hear nobody. How do you feel coming for the next races? Do you think that the podiums are also possible, or was it just the case of Baku this evening?
I think that my pace isn't that bad. So in Australia and China I had bad luck, but today it was very good. Baku isn't my best track, and podium is a really gift. Mm-hmm. So I had many luck, but yeah, I'm hoping for more podiums like that.
Hopefully Ferrari will be back on top of the podium now.
Yes.
And I'll just have another try. Nobody, can you hear us?
Yes, I can actually hear you now.
Ah, that's absolutely fantastic. So, first of all, congratulations to that win. Obviously, the crucial part of that race for you was the start, wasn't it? Tell us a bit out of your perspective how it went.
Oh yeah, thanks first of all, and I think it's pretty clear to everyone that I did all the hard work in qualifying, getting it on the front row. And then it was weird at the start actually because I missed the lights. They came on really quickly. I didn't expect it. So Gerex alongside me almost jumped me into turn 1, but I just kept it around the outside. And then from there, from practice, I knew the race face was looking really good, so I wasn't worried about anything behind. Kept it clean, kept it on the island, came home to a win.
Yeah, it was a pretty quiet race from there on. And we've seen what we guess might be Vadkin's weakness. I don't know if you have observed that as well, but his rear tyres seem to go off at the ends of his stints a lot.
Yeah, whenever I look behind, he has this very exuberant driving style. Whenever I look behind, he was sideways, so I knew his tyres would go off towards the end. So, and with Baku already being as rear limited as it is, I knew he'd be pretty close to having a puncture at the end of both stints, so I wasn't that worried.
So with that win, you will extend your championship lead at the moment. So I mean, it must be your goal now after those few races, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, how can it not be? It's pretty clear that it's a 2, maybe 3-way title fight at the minute, and I'm definitely in the prime position right now. But it's a long season ahead, anything can happen, so we'll just see how it goes.
Exactly. Yeah. Bahrain is next, isn't it?
Yes.
Feel ahead of Bahrain. 2 out of 3 wins right now. Championship lead is in your hand, but the gap isn't that big. I think it's around 10 or 15 points right now. How do you how confident do you feel going into Bahrain?
Just based on the sign-up time trials that we did, I'm feeling pretty confident. How that'll transfer into race pace, I've got no idea. So we'll just have to see how it unfolds close to the time.
All right.
Okay.
So thank you everyone who came in for an interview tonight, and obviously thank you to my co-commentator Julio Massa.
It was a pleasure for me indeed.
And of course, thank you to everyone who has been watching the stream for tonight, and obviously thanks to our sponsors Hype and Elgato. And we'll see you guys next week for round number 4 in Bahrain. So have a good evening and see you next time. Bye bye.